There we go. Woo, another week, another chance to freaking get huge. What is going on, everyone? It is another beautiful back day, and I think pretty excited about a lot of different things that are kind of in the mix. It's interesting because, I'm always trying to grow as an athlete. I'm always trying to grow as a coach. And so those two are kind of intertwined, because the more I kind of reflect on my own journey and what I'm doing, the more I can help others. And so that being said, when you dive into your own journey, it helps a lot, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody's got their own thing. And so you gotta really figure out what makes everyone tick and then plan for them accordingly and work with them accordingly. So that's kind of my plan right now. We are just building out this school community that I have going. Have a lot of really good programs in the mix. We got one about lean bulking. We have one about cutting and prepping. And then we have one about like peptides, one about anabolics. I mean, just the list goes on. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of learning, and a lot to not take too seriously. The main point is just to have fun with it. So that's kind of my dealio right now. That's what we're working with. But for today, we have back, and like usual, I have no clue what's on the plan, but we're gonna kind of feel it out once we get there. It's funny, I was talking to my lady yesterday, and I am just, I don't know about y'all, but I am especially tempted to just go train on my rest days. There's just something in me like, man, you can do more. And, sometimes it's beneficial and sometimes it's really not. And yesterday, I got that feeling that it really wasn't. But I had a little extra time kind of in between work, so I got that itch, but I hope y'all are proud of me. I held back. I actually did not go into the gym and do whatever, because I'll be honest, I was pretty much freaking sore everywhere. So even going to the gym, I had no clue what I was gonna hit. But yeah, I mean, that's why I'm also looking forward to today, because it's an official training day. So I get to train. It's not like I'm being held back by my regimen. But that's kind of a piece of advice that I gave to one of the athletes I was working with. He, asked me basically what's like your biggest piece of advice, and my piece of advice was to just always, like, usually doing more is beneficial, in pretty much everything that you can think of, whether you're, really into video games, whether you're really into computer science, whether you're really into super niche things like, I don't know, acrobatics or something like that. Practicing more, honing in on your nutrition more, honing in on your recovery more. I mean, you really can't argue with the fact that more of everything would probably benefit you. I mean, obviously there are exceptions, like if you're overtraining, obviously don't train more. And then if you're eating a little too clean to where it's, you're not growing muscle tissue as quickly as you could be, then you obviously don't eat more clean foods, so things like that. Like, everything is contextual, but for the most part, you could probably benefit from doing more. That was kind of my overarching piece of advice to the athlete. But anyways, for today, the cool thing about back is I am feeling my back more than ever before. It's like I've always kind of had this issue where, I'm kind of always just looking. That was weird. I had my sunglasses on, and the little screen that you can flip out on the camera, it went completely black because of the sunglasses, so I was wondering if it was still on, but and I even saw the record light, so I was like, that doesn't make sense, but we're good to go. So for back, like I've always had an issue kind of feeling that contraction. You know, I've always, you know, it's tough because it's not like your biceps or your chest or something on the front of your body where you can actually look at it and you can actually see it contracting. Like it's, you know, it's behind you, so you kind of have to use a lot more than just your eyes and seeing to actually know that it's contracting. And so what I used to do a lot is I'd kind of like, I don't know if y'all did this, but I would like if I was doing a row, right? Let's just say I'm doing like a seated cable row. Like I would let my core go. Like my abs would just not contract as much because it was tough. It was tough. You know, it was like it just hurt. And so I kind of didn't really know that I was doing it, but I was releasing my core and I was mainly putting a lot of the tension at the top of the row into my lats. And so that's kind of, I don't know, something I've needed to work on is just keep my core tight while I'm doing the rows or while I'm doing pretty much any back movement, and I'll have a lot better stability, and then I'm also hitting my entire back. And so you can actually see whenever I hit like a back double bicep or like a rear lat spread or anything that's showing my back off, my lats are actually quite a bit more developed than my mid back. And you know, that's just from years, literal years of putting a lot more tension into my lats than into my mid back because I didn't contract my core. So I don't know if y'all have that same issue, but if you do and you notice that your mid back is kind of lacking in comparison to your lats, then you know that might be something to think about. But yeah, so for today, that's kind of my main deal with a lot of this is just mainly focusing on what we can do for back. The overarching point with back is to just, or with any muscle group in bodybuilding, is to bring up whatever your weak points are and to balance them out with your strong points. And so my weak point right now, and it has been for a while, is just my mid back, like really building up that density. So, you know, keep my core tight, make sure that, you know, we're hitting many different kinds of movements, because I've noticed like before I had a coach, I kind of was hitting a lot of the same movements that felt good in the moment, but you know, they're the same movements. So I'm growing, you know, my strong points even more, and then my weak points are getting even weaker. So, you know, obviously make your programming for bodybuilding like around building up your weak points so that, you know, they're symmetrical with your strong points. But that's pretty much the plan, the dealio for today. The other cool thing is having these kind of specialty movements. You know, they suck because they're extremely high volume, but you know, they really benefit me. Like for instance, like for back, the rainbow row of death. I mean, for y'all who aren't familiar with the rainbow row of death, it's 70 reps per set, and you're basically doing 10 reps with your elbows pretty freaking high, and you're mainly focusing on that upper trap region, and then you drop your elbow, you do that for 10 reps, and then you drop your elbows about an inch, and then you do another 10 reps, and then you drop your elbow an inch, do another 10 reps, and then you go all the way until your elbows are basically pinned to your rib cage. And dude, holy crap, the amount of blood flow in my back after even one set of that is just absurd. I've never felt a back pump like that. and it's the entire back. That's what I like about it, because it's not like my lats can take over in certain portions of the movement, because that's what it's meant for. It's meant to isolate every part of your back and just really just tear into it. So that's or maybe tear isn't the right word, but you know what I'm getting at, like stimulate the muscle and each section of the muscle. You know, it's like you got to hit your upper traps down to your rhomboids, down to, you know, other parts of your mid back, and then, you know, finally finishing off with lats from top to bottom. So that's why I kind of like these specialty movements, just because they're a little bit different from doing, you know, just like a regular wide grip row or doing like a regular close grip pull down. They're meant to freaking hurt, but for a really good reason. You know, they're meant to, you know, give your back a run for their money. So that's what I've been enjoying lately. Like a lot of specialty movements like that, and it spills into everything. You know, there's a specialty movement for literally every muscle group. And what I like about these is they're very, you can create essentially infinite specialty movements. Like you can go like a dolphin, for instance. It's 30 reps and it's for your triceps, and it's meant to hit every part of your tricep, but it's sectioned off into 10 reps. So each 10 reps, you're hitting a different part of your tricep, and you're really isolating that and just giving it, you know, as much volume as it can take. So that's kind of my 2 cents. It's like you can make virtually any movement, and you know, like there's kind of that school of thought, like, nah, just stick to the basics. Like the basics are what always work. Yes, like definitely stick to the basics, but that doesn't mean don't branch off and try something new, you know, every once in a while at the very least. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. Like start with the basics, and then, you know, once you feel like you've built up some sort of tolerance or whatever, then you can kind of branch off, try those specialty movements, and then, you know, the main thing is stimulating each part of whatever muscle group you're hitting. That's the main thing. So however you can do that, freaking go for it. But anyways, that is my 2 cents on the back talk for today. No back talk. No. But yeah, this is gonna be freaking good. And this is like the week after Thanksgiving, so we're gonna be putting a lot of the food from last week into today. I think that's what I'm mainly looking forward to. Is my training's just been like a little different. I mean, not the training itself, but just how I go about the meals and my rest and everything surrounding the training, because I've been traveling. And so it's good to be, you know, back where I usually am, and, you know, back in my home gym. So we're gonna freaking make this happen. And yeah, not much else to say. Let's just freaking get in there and get after it. All right, so this is the final set of chest supported T-bar rows. Man, this is probably the heaviest I've gone in a while, so this is gonna be a lot of fun. But that being said, we still gotta get 11 reps. I'm aiming, if I can get at least 5, that's a freaking win, because I can't even remember the last time I've touched this weight. So let's just go nuts and see what happens. Oh, correction. This is not the final set. This is the 4th set. We got 6 sets. That's freaking heavy. Yeah. It's interesting. I gotta fight the habit of bringing my elbows in since I'm a little more lat dominant. And so when I come up, I have to kind of fight the urge to drop my elbows, use my lats, because this is mainly like a mid-back type movement. So keeping my elbows pretty high, not too high. That's kind of the name of the game with hitting the mid-back. So anyways, we're supersetting this with calf raises. And then, yeah, we got a big day. We got quite a bit to do. So let's just, let's get to the next thing after 2 more sets of this. All right, let's see how these lighter squeezing sets rip. That wasn't so light. So this is the first time that I've been supersetting 2 single arm movements. It feels freaking insane because we're also doubling up the set. So instead of, you know, just doing 1 set at a time, we're doing 2 consecutively, and then we're going back to back on 2 exercises. So it's pretty freaking nuts to say the least, but let's get into it. We got one more, and we're going heavier. Freaking crazy. Yep. Oh my God. Let's go do some single arm rows. Dumbbell rows, that is. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Single arm dumbbell rows, and unfortunately, they don't go over 100 here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pause in the middle of the set and then, you know, rip the next set. So, or not pause in the middle, but, you know, pause in between. Then, you know, we'll probably go for a little more like time under tension. We'll just see how we feel. So let's freaking get into it. Alright, we got one more set. Let's rest just for a little bit. Alright, only about like 30 seconds have passed, so wasn't much of a rest, but that's the freaking point. Yep. Let's go see what else we got. Oh my God. Oh my God. We had to change it up a little bit in Rainbow Roads of Death because, you know, I originally thought of it as 70 reps per set, and you know, I'm fairly certain that's what my coach told me, but on the program this week it's 35 reps, so it's not nearly as intense, but that left us a little bit of room to go quite a bit heavier. So that being said, that was a good change up for these. But last thing we got, lat pull downs, crazy eights, and then we'll go freaking pose, get a shake in, get our cardio. All right, so that is a wrap on, man, extremely tiring back day, but very productive at the same time. I'm feeling extremely pumped in the mid back and lat region. I mean, I'm pretty much already sore, so it's a good sign. But one thing to feel, let's see. Oh, you're good, man, no worries. But let's see how it looks now.
Ya tú.
All right, nothing left to do now but get a shake-in, cardio, and then I gotta pick a few things up at Costco, but other than that, we'll just freaking grub and sleep. All right, I'll probably see y'all tomorrow for, what is tomorrow? Arms. So that's gonna be a fun day.